I'm trying to come and chill with you. Flip a doujin in the bed, I'm reading manga till it's 2. Tell me that you love us if I go, I'm knowing that it's true. Cause you acting all moe and vanilla in my view. So this is for them waifus. Straight 2D flex in my life, fool. If you fuck with hentai, you my dude. Let the beat right out, keep it nice and smooth, yo. Hello? Yeah, I
totally forgot what your topic even was, so this is just gonna surprise the shit out of me.
Yeah, let's do it.
Awesome. Go.
What's up, guys? Welcome to the we-abooze, the anime podcast where some of the most unqualified people answer your anime questions. I'm Sam.
I'm Kyle.
I'm Hunter, and we have a new addition to the show tonight.
Oh boy.
Why don't you introduce yourself?
And his name is...
I'm Robbie.
Oh,
Bam!
hey, Robbie.
You may know him from the couple times we mentioned him on the podcast before.
Yeah.
This is Robbie. He watches anime sometimes.
Yeah. Why don't you give us like a quick background on how you got started in anime and what you like?
I got started because I have bad taste. And I was drawn to it.
Whoa. Okay.
Wait a minute. Firing some shots at anime, like in general.
Yeah.
All right.
Always.
Like we met through Jeremy,
Yeah.
and you were one of the first people who I knew liked anime before meeting you, if that makes sense. That was back in my time where like I
That's
was
where it blossomed.
yeah, where I was afraid to
Friendship.
like talk to anime about anyone.
Awesome. So today we're going to be talking about basically how we watch anime, because we kind of all watch it in different ways. I binge watch almost everything
binge.
I watch. Yeah, whereas Kyle doesn't. He watches everything as it's airing. He's got to stay up to date. I don't. So we're going to be talking a little bit about that.
Yeah.
So kind of to get started, I binge watch. Hunter, you binge watch.
Oh, I binge.
But you also, it's at least lately you've been watching things as it airs too, right?
Basically, the only reason I will watch something as it airs is if it's something that, like, Kyle has really recommended is, like, you should give this a shot. Or, like, I've seen it a lot on Reddit or something, and it's like, everyone's talking about this, and I'll start it, like, 5 episodes late, binge it up to where it's at,
Yep.
and then watch it weekly because I am forced to. Not because I want to.
Right.
As much as I want to get into it, Kyle's holding up his beer
We forgot to
in
say
a
what
very
we're
nonchalant
drinking.
way. Hunter, what are we drinking tonight?
We are drinking Wailua wheat. It looks like a Hawaiian beer. A tropical passion
Yeah,
fruit
in the
ale.
fall season, I criticize Sam for picking the most
To be
summery
fair,
beer.
it tastes like leaves, very fall-esque.
Would you say that there's more tropical or more passion in the fruit?
I taste a lot of passion, not so much fruit.
Oh, okay.
That was a little too deep.
Alright.
It's from...
Kyle, do you binge or do you series? Or, you know what I mean.
Because I watch currently airing things, I tend to watch weekly. When I had more time to watch older anime, even then, I would still space it out. And that's not to say I've never binged, I just prefer to take my time watching something.
Right.
And I would even argue that at least modern anime is kind of intended to be watched weekly. But let's see what Robbie, what do you do?
Yeah.
I think with current anime, a lot of it is best to watch weekly because then you get to appreciate everything they do.
Thank you.
And you get to think about it for the coming week.
Exactly.
Okay, but do you binge watch things, or have you ever binge watched
Always.
things? Always?
Yeah.
Okay, there we go. Okay, so like,
So
what
what is
have
your
you binge
preferred
watched?
viewing method?
I think when you watch it weekly, it increases your entire hype for the show. And the best example I can come up with was Attack on Titan, which like every week I wanted to watch the next episode and I'd think about it the coming week. And for me, I have a lot more memories about the show than a lot of the shows I watched in like one night.
Yeah, but see, to me, that's like one of the benefits of binge watching something is if you're watching it as it airs, you're constantly stuck on cliffhangers because you're just like, oh god, now I have to wait a week before I figure shit out. If you're binge watching stuff, you don't have to wait at all. It's amazing. It's so convenient. You're just like, to like all that suspense.
You don't get to appreciate it as much.
You don't
I
get
have-
to
you can-
digest it as well as it's coming out.
Because you'll have a week to think about like subtle details when you watch something weekly. But I don't know.
Okay, well, you said something interesting where you said even when you were watching things, you would space it out. Would
Yeah.
you, like, intentionally stop yourself from watching more when you wanted to, just to, like, savor it?
A little bit, actually. Like, I would probably watch no more than 3 episodes of a certain series a day, and then I might watch something else and kind of take my mind off it, so I can almost think about 2 things at the same time.
Oh, I see what you're saying.
Because that's almost how currently airing anime works. It's not like I'm only watching one show, like 1 episode a week.
Right.
So I can put my mind on other things, and then when I'm not watching anything, like if I'm at work, I have time to kind of reflect on shows. I'd say there's like 3 key components to, or benefits to why I kind of advocate watching anime weekly. And I think there's a social aspect to it. I think there's the overall format of how like modern anime is constructed, and then there's personal attachment, which we already kind of talked about.
Right.
With personal attachment, there's just a lot more excitement and build up. And you disagree?
No.
No?
No, I don't agree.
Okay. Yes, disagree is the
Yes, I
word.
disagree. Because like all the stuff that I have a lot of like, you know, recollection of, like I watched Attack on Titan as it aired. I was forced to because I liked the show, but it was still airing.
Yeah.
I remember it pretty well, but really like not super well. Like I don't remember it any more than Steins Gate or Full Metal, and I watched those like at fucking breakneck speeds. Like all of the things that I remember really well are things that I went through in a day or two. I remember Haruhi really well. I watched it with Jeremy in a day. I remember Steins Gate really well. Watched it in 2 days. Full Metal was probably over a week.
Okay, but I would say you might be right in that sense. I actually admit to having a bad memory of some of the shows that I watch because I only get bits of information each week. But what I remember isn't so much like the key details of the show, like the plot components, but like the feeling the show gave me, if that makes sense.
What's funny is I almost have the polar opposite of what you guys are saying,
Really?
where I was going to say if I had to come up with a negative to binge watching, for sure at the top of that list is second on the list. But up there on the list of negatives is I miss a lot of fine details because like I've hit some crazy records with binge watching. Like as an example, just list of things I've binge watched. All of Bleach, 201 episodes. Pretty sure I finished that in about 9 or 10 days.
It's
Fucking
it's true. We did
Yeah.
the math.
Hunter x Hunter, 148 episodes, 5 days, knocked it out. Full Metal Alchemist Brotherhood, 64 episodes, killed that in a weekend. And then like a lot of 12 or 13 episode series in a day. Like that's nothing.
I watched Madoka in that.
Exactly.
Sitting.
But what I will say is when you're watching that much and you're just sitting watching it, even though you love it, you start to drown out a lot of the nuances and you just stop picking up fine details. You almost stop caring about the little things and you only pay attention to the main plot points. So I'm really, all those shows where I binge watched it, I'm so bad at remembering characters' names, I don't remember them for shit. I remember who they are, what they do, and why they're there, but like fine details like their names or key components of like what they wear,
Yeah.
nothing.
Yeah, whenever I watch like more than 2 episodes in a sitting or like in an afternoon, I start to notice I'm like autopilot.
Yeah.
And I'm
Yeah.
not appreciating the episode as much as I could be.
Yeah.
Right.
Like right now, whenever I watch shows, anime or whatever, I will watch 1 episode in a sitting, and then if I like no more than that,
Yeah.
usually.
Yeah.
And that way I don't know, I get a much better feel for it.
Referring back to what I said, another detail as to why I kind of prefer watching weekly is the social component.
Right.
And that is like what we're doing right now. We watch weekly things and talk about it, and it's fun to do it. It's fun to talk about like a single episode, like and what we expect next week.
But
I
what
love
if it's
that.
like such a crap episode? Like there's been some times where like, how about that ReZero episode? And you're like, I don't want to talk about it.
I know,
Like,
But there's
But that's
something
part
kind
of
of
the
fun
fun.
in that.
Exactly.
It's like going to a movie with your friends and it's just shit and you're all just like, oh, what the fuck? Like there's something intrinsically fun
Exactly.
about that.
People, even if it's in a social way that's like just online, if you're like going on a forum to see what people are saying about it, that's
You're
technically
all
a
in the
social.
same boat together experience.
Yeah,
I go to Reddit it every time after I watch the ReZero episode to go look at the discussion board.
See, it's fun. It's a fun experience you can't get.
Okay, actually, I go and look at the previous Reddit discussion boards after every episode. Like when I was watching like Steins Gate, I looked at they were like 3 years old at that point or whatever, but I went and looked at like I just typed in like Steins Gate 1 and it was the top thing and it was like Steins Gate episode 1 episode discussion. See what people were saying.
Oh my gosh,
Yeah.
Which is fun
And then I
because
go and
people-
watch the second one and then I get that.
You can do that for Haruhi, the Endless Eight. Imagine what
Oh
it was
my
like
God.
watching weekly for that.
Would have sucked.
I bet for like the first 4 episodes, people were going crazy, and then halfway through, they just stopped caring, stopped watching,
People just
stopped
dropped the
posting.
show.
Yeah, they're like, fuck this. But I feel like, so yeah, there's the social aspect where like, you can talk about it as it's airing, right?
Mm-hmm.
But there's almost this ambiguity to like what's going to happen next episode. I think one of the benefits of binge watching is the series gets to complete, and I don't like wasting my time, basically. Like, so I feel like when you binge watch something, you at least have the opportunity of looking up reviews of the anime, asking your friends about it, so you don't end up watching something that starts off really hot and ends really cold.
Yeah.
You know?
I've never watched a show that I regret watching.
Really?
Yeah.
I can.
Nothing.
I might be
Well,
able to
okay,
say
I
the
dropped
same.
like 2 shows in my life, and like one of them I think was like the bento box fighting.
Bento was good. Bento was okay.
No, I dropped that one.
Give it a second chance.
Kyle, have you dropped anything?
I know you have.
Okay,
You dropped
okay,
some shit
yes.
like last
No, no,
season
no.
and this season.
Okay, what I do is I never drop something. I put it on my on hold list, and I never go back to it. But yes, I've dropped things. Yeah,
How did you feel about Excel World?
I don't think I even gave it a chance.
I'm proud of you. I gave it 1 episode and dropped it like a rock.
Yeah, that's a butt.
That is a butt. You
And, like,
have to drink when
Is
we
that
see
a
butts.
dog or
Robbie.
like a stuffed animal on her butt?
This is
Both.
both.
Okay.
It's not really on her butt though.
So, the third component I kind of talked about is why I prefer to watch weekly is the format and how I think it's one of the first comments I said, which is like modern anime is kind of set up to be watched weekly. Like a severe example is ReZero. We kind of talked about like these insane cliffhangers it had,
Yeah.
and I mean,
Dude, I'm so jealous of Sam. He gets to just blow through the whole thing.
Yeah.
I would much rather have been able to do that.
yeah.
You could have. You had the chance.
But it was so good.
Yeah, well.
And I really liked the end. You know, we're not even going to get into that. It ended, though. And I liked it. You should watch it.
I probably will, and I'll probably watch it in like 2 days.
Do it.
The only other thing I'll add, and it's funny because even though I'm someone that prefers binge watching, I totally recognize that there are so many more negatives with binge watching than there are positives.
Really?
Yeah, but like the biggest negative to me about binge watching is when you binge watch as hard as I do, where you just spend all of your time for a very select period of time.
I would imagine you almost end up disliking it.
Yeah, well, no, not disliking it. And I actually thought about it, I was like, do you dislike anime more if you just flood yourself with it?
Mm-hmm.
And you don't. You still love that anime. But it puts me on like anime burnout by the time I'm finished.
Yeah.
And I don't want to like not just watch that show. I don't want to watch anime, TV, nothing. I don't want to watch
You know, I
a
do get
screen.
that, honestly.
Yeah, you don't want to watch anything for a while. And I think that's the problem is like I think the first time I ever started watching anime, I binged. And then ever since then I was like I binged once and I was like, all right, I can't watch anime for like a month. And then I waited and then I binged again. And it's this horrible self-fulfilling cycle.
Well, I mean, you're taking binging to a very literal, viewpoint where it's
Yeah.
like if you binge like a meal, it's taking in like you're not savoring anything.
Right.
Whereas if you spread it out, you can, it's more refined, so to speak.
I know.
But there's almost spreading it out too thin, where it's like you have this amazing steak, and it's like, all right, you can eat a piece a day. Like, what the fuck? Like,
I would say that I agree with Kyle in that if you watch it on a weekly basis, you are consuming it, bringing it back to steak,
Yeah.
Ooh.
in the way that the Japanese peoples want you to.
the Japanese people.
Okay, well then
Those
is
in the Japan.
there a right or wrong way to view it?
No. There's
Yes.
no right or wrong. It's just, oh, well, we disagree. But both have their pros and cons. I'd say a big negative to watching weekly is like building kind of unfortunate hype, meaning you may get so attached to a series. You know, you keep waiting for the next episode and waiting and waiting and waiting, and you're so excited and you love it, and then it just takes a dive. So now you have this weird attachment to a bad series.
Right. All right, well then I think in conclusion we can say that there's no right or wrong way to watching anime. Binge watch it as it airs.
No, it wasn't really an argument. It was like a, what do we prefer?
I
Yeah.
actually have like a middle ground to suggest, because I think some of the funnest time I've had watching anime has been here, especially when we do series. I understand it's hard to get people to come, you know, every single week, but like watching Tatami Galaxy, watching 3 episodes a week, that's almost like the perfect middle ground.
Maybe.
You don't get
Right.
left off with these. I mean, Tatami Galaxy is not exactly a cliffhanger show,
Right.
Right.
but you know, being able to watch and get a you know, enough, a big enough helping, if you
you have
will.
like a
If we're-
beginning and arc into like an arc.
Yeah, you get
Yeah.
to see enough, but you're still kind of left wanting more when you're like, you could watch another episode, but you know, being able to wait makes you think about it, so you get kind of the best of both worlds.
Right.
So
a good
all they
point.
need to do is release all anime in 3 episodes,
Chunks.
3 episodes a week.
That would actually be sick.
That'd be sweet.
Oh my gosh, hear us Japan.
I don't think they can work any harder than they do. I might kill them soon.
Robbie keeping it real.
It's like a radio DJ.
Why don't you have like a sampler set up where you can get like,
That
a
would
funny
actually
sound?
Let's answer.
Welcome to the weeabooze.
Let's answer a question. This question is from Lalalico. Let's see. What genre of anime would you recommend to non-anime watchers to convert them that's not a shonen or action type, since those are usually more popular in my opinion? If you guys have any, what anime would you say is a hidden gem, deserves more recognition?
Psycho thriller. That is what I would get people into.
Yeah, I mean, that's what I did with Jeremy. I think I was like, you know, trying to convince him, or anyone really, that, you know, anime can be for a wider range of audiences, not just children. And then you show them a psycho thriller or something that has, and this is a little childish now, but if you show someone like a gory anime, they'll kind of get the point right away.
Right. Did the question specify if it has to be like a series? Because if it was me, if I was recommending an anime to
You gonna
someone
say
who,
Akira?
well, if it was gonna be not Akira, but if it was gonna be recommending someone who doesn't like anime to begin with, I'd recommend a movie. I wouldn't recommend a series because it's way less investment and you can kind of see the pinnacle of where it's at. And then, like, there's tons of movies
Can
I
we drink to this?
prefer to.
Sure, drink to Hyoka.
See that.
I would say
It's teasy enough.
it depends on the person.
But isn't it harder to invest into, like, a 13-episode series than it is, like, an hour-and-a-half movie?
I'd say it's easier to convince somebody to just watch a movie.
Yeah, okay, that might be the point, and a movie might be a better choice, but if I know the perfect series for someone, if I know someone who loves racing, I would say watch Redline, and that is a
Right.
movie, you know? So, or like, if their favorite movie happens to be like Fast and Furious, it would be Redline.
Right.
I would base it off what they like.
I see what you're saying.
Or just go for like a really safe, extremely popular thing, a really popular show that isn't a shonen, technically, is Death Note. People love Death Note. That's a good
Right.
starter anime.
Oh, but what about the second part of that question, the hidden gems?
Yeah, do
Yeah.
you know, I think it's a separate question. Do you know of any hidden gems?
I don't...
Now, is
me,
it
no.
a hidden gem specific to, like, trying to get somebody into anime?
No. I think it's an entirely different question.
Yeah.
I'm not sure that Shinseki Yori got the, like, I don't know. I liked it quite a bit. I thought it was really good, but I don't think it really got all that much credit. I mean, I wasn't, like, browsing Reddit or really into the anime scene at the time we watched it. Me and Jeremy just kind of picked it out of the hat and watched it. In
No, I
a
gave it
couple
to you
weekends.
guys.
Did you give it to
Yeah.
us? Really?
Yeah.
Oh, well, okay. You gave it to us and we watched it. We did watch it like 3 episodes a day for like 4 days or
Yeah.
something. And I really enjoyed, I think more than that. That was actually a pretty long anime. but we watched it in like 4 days or something, and I think it was something that I really enjoyed, except for a certain character who somebody already like tried to crucify me for talking bad about. So,
Yeah.
but I think that was pretty good. Like I wouldn't ever suggest that to somebody as a first anime, but I do think it's something that like if you passed over and you're pretty into anime, you should give Shinseki Yori a shot. Also, if you like watching middle schoolers make out.
Yeah. It's not really a hidden gem. It's just older, but I would say like Future Boy Conan. It's kind of really renowned in the kind of elitist anime group of people, but it's a really good show. People just don't tend to watch it because it's older. I don't know if hidden gem is the right word. I need to give this question more thought. We might even do an episode on hidden gems. But yeah, I need to think about it some more. Robbie? Okay. Let's move on to what we're watching. And quick disclaimer, a lot of stuff has ended. We will not be talking about ReZero yet. We're going to save that for next episode because I feel like it would be kind of unfair to talk about it without Jeremy. Take a drink.
That is
Monster was a
goodness.
So yeah, next episode is going to be a little bit special. We're going to be doing a fall anime preview for the first half, and then for the second half we'll do a long ReZero review and probably a Mob Psycho review as well. I think that's going to end.
You might be mad at me. I haven't watched the most recent episode of Mob Psycho because I wanted to watch both of them at the same time.
It was so good.
I want to watch the beginning and the finish.
It was
all
amazing.
together.
I loved it so much.
So
Okay,
you can't say anything about it, or I'll go in the bathroom.
No, I'll be vague. So let's talk about what we're watching. Oh, I guess you can't say anything then.
Right, so ReZero ended, and I can't talk about it, and I didn't watch the Mob Psycho because I want the double hype.
Let's see. Well, I guess what I'll say about Mob Psycho is Reagan... No spoilers, no spoilers.
Dies.
Oh my god!
Reagan is the first anime character I've really loved in a long time.
Dude, the ending of the most recent episode I watched.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's where you see...
Well, we didn't even talk about last
We didn't,
week's,
yeah,
where
that
it
was-
ends with like Reagan essentially ringing the doorbell to this
I know,
like
right?
evil organization. But I love him. He's very human.
I mean, I do admit I hated him in the first two
Right.
episodes or something, but...
But I like how complex he is. There are so many characters in so many different anime that are one-dimensional, and I think we kind of
inserts.
yeah, they're stereotypes. You know, we already know who they are. Reagan is hypocritical. He contradicts himself, but he's also very emotional and knows how to connect with people. He's contradictory, and I love that about him. So that's all I'll say about the Mob Psycho episode. Quick rundown. Berserk ended. It's getting a second season. If you've read the manga and know the story, it's what it is, but we already know we don't like the visuals. New Game ended.
How was that?
I'm a little mad at myself for getting as emotionally attached as I did. I'm surprised at how touching it was.
Really?
I mean, I wouldn't highly recommend it. It is what it was, which was just cute. But it was really well done. And
It was just like a moe for the ages?
yeah, that's a great way of putting it. Thank you. Thank you. Amama to Inazuma end, and I thoroughly enjoyed it. I do wish there was a little bit more depth to some of the characters. Like we never...
More death?
Yeah, death. I wish everyone died. Depth. I wish like we would have had an episode dedicated to the older girl getting over her fear of knives that was never really addressed.
I mean, I'm afraid of knives wielded by certain types of people.
Cooking.
What types of people?
Like...
Chefs.
But yeah, very good, very sweet. Taboo Tattoo ended.
How was that?
Very dumb, and it's getting a second season.
Hell yeah.
Yeah, it was so dumb. I don't...
Did he use his tattoo?
He sure did.
Fuck
I
yeah.
don't know if I'll watch the second season. I don't think I can do it. This is great. Maso Gaku and HXH ended, the very ecchi one, and that's getting a second season.
How was it?
Boobs.
I'll watch it.
Ilya ended. Nothing happened. I felt like that was a complete waste of time. And it's getting a movie. Bijutsubu ended. That was very sweet, very lighthearted, easygoing. All these shows are very, average for the most part. And that's not a bad thing at all. 91 Days has not ended yet, but it's getting very intense. And it definitely has really strong moments. But I personally am having a hard time getting attached to the plot. It might just not be my kind of anime. And then, just moments ago, I finished watching Amanchu. The last episode of Amanchu came out, and so far, I think that was the best thing this season that has ended.
Really?
Yeah, it was very pure, very lighthearted, and I wouldn't say emotional, but it just made me extremely happy. I was very content with the entire composition of the show. The colors, the characters, the personalities. I thought that was great. I guess that's about it. I know Jeremy has started watching something, but I'll wait for him to announce that. That's kind of cool that he jumped into a slightly bigger series. But some exciting news, everyone.
What happened?
iTunes review.
Oh, seriously?
hell
yeah.
Hell yeah.
It's from Picarius, who sent in a message last
Yeah.
time. Yeah. It's a little bit of a long one, so here we go. What I like about this podcast is that it is not a bunch of fanboys just talking about the anime they like and watch. That would be too generic. The group actually dives into the details of plot, setting, characters, and aesthetics of an anime. They answer questions from their listeners and would sometimes go into detail answering those questions. It is always nice when there are different opinions to a question. It is also interesting to hear different opinions on an anime. You can tell who likes what kind of anime, genre, story, or art style. It is very entertaining, and I recommend the casual anime audience to listen. If you are a hardcore anime consumer, their opening tagline is, the anime podcast where some of the most unqualified people try to answer your anime questions. Well, my anime list is pretty epic, but I do value their answers and opinions.
Dude, that's awesome. Holy
Sweet.
shit. That's
Thank
fucking
you
cool.
so much. You have no idea how much we appreciate that.
Oh, man.
We also got a comment on one of our posts on YouTube, because we're uploading to YouTube now.
Oh, yeah.
Let me get that real.
Jazz hands time? It was jazz hands worthy.
This is from Wolfflow. I love anime-based video games, but have barely watched any anime series. Hope to learn a few things from these shows. I think most gamers are blinded by nostalgia as they constantly forget about all the glaring issues from games of the past while complaining about the most petty things when it comes to new releases.
That's so
Yep.
true. People will talk so well about Final Fantasy VII or something, and I tried to replay it. I'm like, this is dog shit.
Yeah, so fantastic feedback. That's amazing. I'm so happy about that. So,
Yeah, thank all of you guys.
and I think I sent you some names, Hunter.
Yes, I am doing the names this week, and we have Clear Love, which I finally know why Sam says it that way. Always NASA, Mitsuki Stop, Picarius, and Watcher.
Is that how you say it? Sure
Yeah,
is.
that's accurate. Story checks out.
So please keep sending us questions and episode topics. You can send questions to us on Twitter at theweeabooze, theweeabooze@gmail.com, and to me at Secret Otaku on Tumblr. We want to get the word out, so continue to reblog our episodes, tell your friends, go on YouTube, share that, however you want to get the word out. That'd be fantastic. And like we just read, iTunes reviews are amazing. So if anyone has the time to do that, we'd really appreciate it. I want to thank Hentai Dude for our intro music and Kid Boo for our outro music, and we did not prepare Robbie for this. Get
Drunk.
What? Anime!
See you guys next week.
You can catch me smoking a sour off the coast of Okinawa. Feeling so high like I'm Ho-Oh in a tower. Take a flight on some shit. Got my dogs riding beside me, blazing hot. That's kamikaze. Say goodbye, you don't be mad, I'm lit. Catch me smoking a sour off the coast of Okinawa. Feeling so high like I'm Ho-Oh in a tower. Take a flight on some shit. Got my dogs riding beside me, blazing hot. That's kamikaze. Say goodbye, you don't be mad, I'm lit.
I want to know what the farting deal is.
Well, we don't have a farting policy per se, But I mean, if you get a really gnarly one out, you can just let us know. Like, if you're proud enough, you can say,
How-
please
how-
If
keep
it's
How
it
do I
gnarly
know?
enough, it's going in the post credits.
We'll put
Yes,
yeah,
that's
we'll put
true.
it this way: if it's loud enough to register on mic, it's probably going in at some point.